Hi, welcome back to SoCal Surf with Dan Nappy. Well, we're back, and apparently so is the surf at the cliffs at Huntington Beach. Pretty big takeoff area, not very much current, but what little current there was coming out of the south, which warmed the water back up to 60 degrees to 63 degrees, which is, I consider that pretty good. Anything above 60 is excellent water temperature. Sure, you still need a wetsuit. I don't think you need booties, although I'll probably wear them a few more times only because climbing down the rocks by the flag is easier when you don't have to worry about your feet getting chewed up by the rocks. And then probably as the water gets a little bit warmer, we're going to probably switch to summer wetsuits in summer and no booties. So it looks pretty good. For the weather. Of course, there's another storm out in the ocean just offshore, which is supposed to come in on Thursday, which should last till Friday, possibly Saturday. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens there with that. But the surf was pretty good size. The tide was high, which made it not as hollow. It makes it kind of crumbly at the top, kind of rolls into a wave. It doesn't really break like you see on TV where it's hollow and you can get underneath it. But they're still big enough to ride and fast enough. It does limit your riding time, and because you have to, when you catch it, then it fizzles in the dead zone, which we get at Huntington Beach a lot. But there's a few waves that were big enough that you could ride them all the way in and connect it to the inside. But you want to get out of that wave right after that because the shore break is still too serious to ride. It's very difficult to get out still, and it's very scary to get in after you're done surfing because the shore break could hurt you. But if you time it right and just ditch the surfboard and then just kind of let the wave carry you in, then if you can stand up, then that'll help. And then as the waves come in, just kind of duck under them. And then when you got enough weight on your feet, then you kind of run up to the shore and grab your board and walk out. So, but it wasn't a few people there, not too bad. Crowd was pretty mellow, which is good. Huntington at the cliffs usually is a lot friendlier crowd than at the pier, more competitive, and that's because the takeoff area is smaller. You got the pier on one side, and then people kind of bunch up by the pier, and you got a little more competitive surfing attitude there. But on the cliffs, if it gets too many people around you, you just paddle one way or the other and get away from them. But we had seven people with us today. 4 in our car, and 2 other cars showed up with some more people. And so it was had a pretty good crowd, which was great. Everybody around you is someone you know. So you're able to talk and help each other and say, hey, here's a wave, go. This one looks like it has your name on it, as one of our guys says. So a lot friendlier. You don't have a lot of, people trying to force their way in or compete. It's pretty much take your turn type of thing. So great surfing with the friendlier, nicer people than if you're at the pier and there's a lot of competitiveness in it. And more so on the south side than the north side, but both sides of the pier are competitive. But you can drift, this time of year you can drift north with the current and go up towards the condos, which is what we did last week. And the crowd starts to thin as you go, gets thinner as you go north. Same thing is on the other side, the south side. As you go further south, the crowd gets thinner. Of course, the waves aren't as good, so you're sacrificing a little bit of that, but still it's better. So pretty good. One wave I caught, I never stood up. I was cresting at the top, and I took off so fast I was practically airborne. All I had in the water were my feet. So I just continued to ride on my stomach, did a couple of medium turns on my stomach, and then pulled out because it's not very long of a ride. If you don't get up immediately, usually you don't get much of a ride. So pretty good. And the other big thing today was a lot of dolphins. They were everywhere. There were 2 or 3 pods of 5 or 6 dolphins that went by while we were out there. And one of our the girl went out and chased them and was paddling with them for a while, and they let her hang out with them. So she was paddling and with the dolphins and having a good time. So it was pretty fun. They're pretty docile creatures and quite social. So they don't mind unless you're a threat, which we're not. They're pretty easy to get along with. So that was also pretty fun. So we had a pretty good time. Water temperature 60 to 63, very nice. Some areas felt even warmer. The sun was out, the sky was blue, and the water was great. So everything was pretty good today. Just the tide was too high for the waves to break hollower and continuous. So you get a lot of swells that come in. It looks like it's a wave. You paddle like crazy for it, and you feel it go past you. It doesn't pick you up because it just kind of fizzles. Kind of a dead zone there. It gets into the dead zone and you're finished. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to, ride the short, wait for the bigger waves and ride at a shorter time. But Newport was just too small. Just can't surf it when it's that small. But people do. It's a great place for beginners, like I mentioned. So surfing Newport, possible, but not as good. So currents are pretty mellow still, not strong currents. Those waves look like they were coming out of the south. I think that's what the forecast said. Tomorrow looks pretty much the same. Tide's going to be up a little later. High tide was at 7:15 a.m. today. Tomorrow it's probably going to be closer to 8 o'clock. So the earlier will be a little better, but as you get up to 8 o'clock, it's going to get tide's going to kind of wash out the surf and create a bigger dead zone. So tomorrow we'll be have to look and see what happens. So keep in touch. Like I say, surf is good, sun was out, summer's coming. There's a big volleyball tournament down there at the pier. They've set up the Association of Volleyball Professionals, one of their opening events of the years here at Huntington Beach, and they travel across the country playing volleyball. And this is a fun thing to watch, free admission, so you can go and watch as much as you want. But it will kind of cut down the parking if you're going to the pier, so go with the bad. But they don't usually get in the water, so it's not crowded. And just in the parking. So, sounds good. So, check out our sponsors, Merch Hero, Task Bullet, and nappyclothing.com. They got some great products that you could, depending on what you do, could work well for you. So, thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow, weather permitting, depending on when that low pressure decides to come in. And if it comes in tomorrow, it'll really blow the waves out. And then Thursday and Friday is supposed to rain. So Saturday's a real big if for our Saturday. In the summer, we do a Saturday surf thing with our group, a large church group, and we teach people how to surf. There's no charge. So we have a lot of people come and hang out, sometimes as many as 20, 30 people, sometimes as few as 3 or 4. So you never know. But we set up there at 17th Street in Huntington Beach, and we just sit and talk and have fun and do a little surfing together. So there you have it. That's going to start this Saturday and go through the summer. So we're there almost every Saturday. Occasionally we don't make it depending on weather conditions, what have you. So we'll see you out there. Thanks for listening.